So the earliest memory I have of my mom praying, I was a little girl and I could hear her praying in her bedroom, and I could lay down outside her door and hear her call my name. The heritage that she and my grandmother have given for prayer, and prayers coming true, and me believing that and growing my faith in prayer, and has been instrumental.
My grandma was such a godly example to us grandchildren. I can remember spending the night with her, and I'd be in the basement sleeping, and I could hear her rocking chair going back and forth, and I would go upstairs, and what I would hear was her praying for us kids, and that was always just something real neat that always just stuck in my mind.
I was at her desk one day at work, and she has this little book, and I was like, oh, what's this? Because I just have to look at everything. That's what I do. So I opened it up, and on the page there was a nice section for each of us, my sister, my brother, with verses and very specific thought out prayers of what she wanted and what she was asking every day God for. And that was a cool moment to know that every day, even at work where it's hardest to get into the emotional set, she was taking time to pray and think about each of us.
You know, I grew up in a single parent home. Mom was all I had, and I was all she had. And to raise a teenager in the early 90s, you had to be a praying mom. And I can remember one thing from when I was a little kid, all the way, really until I was old enough to kick her out of my room. We always said our prayers at night. And you know, it sounds like contrite tradition or just doing it to do it, but it's really stuck with me, and it's something that I've established with my kids.
My mom's a praying mom because whenever I'm sick, she'll pray with me. And I remember this one time, I get strep a lot, but I remember this one time I had strep, and then she prayed for me, and we didn't even go to the doctor yet because we weren't sure, but she prayed for me, and then within like 15 to 20 minutes, my throat stopped hurting, my fever went away. It felt like I didn't have strep anymore. So that's how my mom is a praying mom.
So I'm so blessed that my mom prays for me every day. I vividly remember the moment when I realized this as a teenager. I busted up into her room one morning needing something, and there she was sitting on her bed reading her Bible and praying. And she told me that she prays for me and my sisters and my dad and her family every day and reads her Bible before she even gets out of bed. And that just really struck me as such an amazing thing to actually see someone do that. She's always prayed for me. And I just appreciate that so much and strive to do that with my own children and carry on that legacy.
I was so blessed that my mother always prayed for me, because at the beginning of every school year, she would always pray for the teachers that I needed and the friends that I needed to be around. Every time that I'm going to a basketball game or I'm going for like a performance or something, she always encourages me to do my best and just to be like the best person that I can be. And same with my grandmother. She's always been there for me. She lives with us. I'm always around her, and I just love them both, and I'm so blessed to have them.
I've been blessed with a praying mother and grandmother. I can remember as a young girl kneeling beside my grandmother's bed whenever I would spend the night with her, and we would pray together. And my mom teaching me how to pray each day and praying for me on the way to school. And she still to this day prays for me. I'm so thankful for the legacy of faith that they have given to me that I can pass on to my children.
My mom was one tough lady, very inspirational, loving, kind, generous, thoughtful, especially being a triplet, you know, youngest of three plus an older one. Mom, love you. Definitely couldn't do life without you, and thankful every day that God has given you to us. So, happy Mother's Day.
I'm thankful that I have a mom that prays for me, specifically because when I was at the age of 2, I suffered a stroke. Many of you may not know that, but I was in the hospital for quite a bit of time after that happened, and I know it was the prayers of my mom that got me through that. So there's nothing like a praying mama.
I'm especially thankful for my mom. Whenever I was born, I had like an umbilical cord wrapped around my neck, and she literally took me upside down as a little baby and started praying over me and started spanking me so the blood would rush back to my head because I was about to be a goner, and actually saved my life. And I will be forever grateful that she is with me and that I have her.
My mom, first of all, you can just see God on her. Because of that, a big thing is my sister and I couldn't get away with anything because we knew she was a praying mom, and God would tell on us. And because of that, because of her connection with God, she disciplined us in a way that was unique to us. You couldn't do that to my sister. She'd be like, okay, whatever. God's got me because Mom's got me.
My mom's awesome. She prays for every small thing that I go through. She prays for how my day's gonna go. She prays for me just to sleep at night, and it's truly inspirational, and she has influenced my prayer life so much, and she has got me to pray a lot more than I originally did before I knew how much she prayed for me.
Throughout my whole childhood, my mom every Monday would fast during the day and pray for her kids. And so breakfast, lunch, all snacks throughout the day, she wouldn't eat anything, which was just so evident of like a mother's sacrificial love, and just pray for us and pray scriptures over us and over our lives. And I definitely feel like my life has been marked with blessing, not only because like I've tried to be righteous and try to live for God, but because of my parents' coverings of their prayer over my life.
I can remember as a small child, every night before my brother and I went to bed, my mom would come, kneel down beside our pillows, and we would always say our nighttime prayers. And I can remember watching her prayer life and watching her pray with us and her showing us how to pray, and just listening to her, that it helped shape my prayer life and where I'm at today.
Back when the elementary days when my dad was deployed overseas, I always knew she was praying God's peace and strength, all the way to my days at college to find my spouse, and praying that I would pass every class. And I definitely know she was a praying mom because she also prayed for the world's best son, which ended up being me.
Hello, my name's Eddie Turner. I just want to send a shout out to my mom, Joy Turner, and also a eternal shout out to my grandmother, Gladys Allen. Without those two ladies in my life, I wouldn't be where I am today. They undoubtedly were the most influential people in my life. They showed me an example of Christ. My grandmother prayed with me to accept Christ. My mother has prayed for me every day that I've been alive and continues to pray for me today. And they're just wonderful people. They've modeled Christ and Christianity, love, acceptance, all of my life. So I just wish them today a very special and a happy Mother's Day.